Well, hello. It's Mumamo. It's your weekly look into all things mutants and masterminds, the world's only, without exception, superhero TTRPG ever made. Today, tomorrow, or yesterday. If you got a problem with that, well, then you got a problem with me. I'm just kidding. You might have a problem with me. That's fine. Look who we've got here. Hey, David Bodie's here. Good to see you, friend. Mastermind of Pook says, hello, hello. YouTube failed to notify you, Claude. Uh-oh.
This must be rectified immediately.
Yeah, get Mr. YouTube on the phone immediately.
Hello, John YouTube.
Hello, John YouTube. Is that you? I've got a bone to pick. Hey, King Snarf. King Snarf says, do you know the topic for this week makes me think of Dr. Doofenshmirtz?
You know, the topic for this week makes me think of all the shit I still need to do for Gen Con.
Right, yeah. SD Pilot says, I just need to put some finishing touches on my backstory for the Atomic Think Tank contest, and I'll submit it tonight. You know, I believe that's for Nate's Great Gravy, Greasy Granny Gravy Capade, or the Golden Gravy Goblet Tournament of Champions, where you get to submit your original origin story. It's just 600 words and a quick description, and you'll be in. Who else do we got in chat? So many cool people. Pachitaro. Am I saying that right, friend? I probably am not, and I apologize. And what is it? Weirden Maximus? Is that how you say that? Weirden Maximus?
Weirden Maximo.
Maximo. Oh, nice. Nice to see you. Heyo to you, I say. Who else we got here? Camera? I don't know what that means. Camera? Yes, it is like an old-timey radio program. RC Peeler says it's Mr. Tube. His father's Tube Senior was the founder. Their relationship was continuous, compelling backstory. Oh, contentious. Mm-hmm. It was continually contentious.
That was I was wondering what continuous meant, because I mean, technically my relationship with my father is no longer continuous.
Yes. Villith V says, hello from the Basosphere. Oh no, sounds like you're on the deck of a real scary something. Speaking of a real scary something, have you all met Alex Thomas? Hi, buddy. How are you?
Hello. I'm alive. I'm buried beneath Gen Con preparations.
Listen, buddy, you have tried your level best to you broke some stuff. Yeah, you got so you're on the mend. For folks who don't know, Alex kicked so much butt he broke his foot.
Yeah, it was pretty tragic.
Well, we don't have to get into that.
I went to the orthopedist today. Yeah, I went to the orthopedist today, and the orthopedist said, as long as you take it easy, you can walk at Gen Con. So
nice.
I'm very grateful for that. I'm still bringing my scooter just in case, but
like a hover round kind of thing.
Kind of, like yeah. It's kind of like a Razor scooter, but a little taller.
I want. Okay. Oh, is it like one of those little knee things that you kind of put your leg on and then?
Yeah. I put my knee up and then I zoom all over the place. I went down a ramp and I thought I was going to die the other day.
Oh no! I could just see. Oh no, Alex, he's gone down the hill. Good thing in Indianapolis, everything's pretty flat. Yeah, pretty flat terrain. Hey, a question for you. Tell us what you're working on for Gen Con.
Well, my brother and I have painted up about 60 miniatures, including this pretty little dragon, who's one of the player characters from the Parkhurst game I'll be running.
Nice. Now, have we seen that adventure, the Parkhurst game?
We've seen the first half of it, and RC Byler has continuously reminded me that I need to run the last half of it.
His reminders are continuous.
They are very continuous. But this is the aforementioned dragon of Parkhurst Manor, who is now a party member after the events of that adventure.
I remember. Yeah, I was the oldest student in the student-teacher kind of character. Nate, I believe, was a zombie girl who could throw her head around.
Let me grab her real quick while I'm thinking about it.
Oh yeah. Let's show. Hey, Raymond. Good to see you.
So we've got Morgan here with her baseball bat.
Nice. Home run. I like that. Let's see. Oh, have we got any other Paul, good to see you, friend. Always good to see everybody in the chat. If you're just tuning in, you've got to make sure, and if you're watching this on demand, you want to dive into the chat. You want to see the live chat as it rolls. It is, it's a hoot. A hoot, I say.
Yeah, I also had to
how many?
design a fourth. I also had to design a 4th edition Game Master screen because we don't have one, and I need it to reference my adventures. And I designed some 4E player reference sheets for the table, and I'm working on 30 table stands that have sort of rules for how the game works and gives me player-facing information for what their defense is and their attacks. And
Nice.
working on these roleplay reference sheets that we'll go over a little bit here in a minute, and converting my 30 pre-gens from 3rd edition to 4th edition. So it's been a
Nice. Oh, yeah.
tireless.
Was in that too. Sorry, I just caught. I remember now. Sheppy. Yeah. The miniature looks great.
Yeah, I'm really excited how they've been turning out. My brother's got the last 7, and he's working on them tonight, and I'll go pick them up tomorrow.
Now, so I wonder if Gene's in the audience. Usually by now, Gene has asked a question that I was really begging that they would ask again while we're all hanging out here. Because as I understand it, there's a new Astonishing Adventure on its way.
There is.
Is there?
Yeah, we can showcase that if we have it pulled up. So yeah, this is the Jordan Now Mystery. It is a Golden Age superhero adventure that takes place in Titan City. Well, it takes place in Nazi-occupied Poland, in the same universe as Titan City.
I see. Okay, now that's intense. Nazi-occupied Poland. What's going on in this timeline? Like, is it for this? Why am I blanking on the name? And your logo on your T-shirt's down too low. It's the
Chronicles.
Titan City. Thank you. Sorry, Titan City Chronicles. And so, compared to Earth Prime, where does it live in the multiverse?
So it is a different universe than Earth Prime. There are certainly parallels. For instance, in this adventure, the Arctic Fox does feature as one of the villains. So what's up with that? But Titan City, basically in 1908, the whole world found out magic and monsters are real, and we've been doing our best to coexist and learn how to live with each other since then. And now there's a whole great world war going on.
Right.
And there are monsters and magic users on both sides trying to take over the world for their faction. And our heroes have to step up and stop a bunch of German monsters called the Occultisten, which I don't speak German. I know I'm probably saying that incorrectly, but it stands for the occultists.
Okay.
And their art is featured throughout the adventure.
Word of Maximus says a PL10 Titan City Adventure spicy.
Yeah, usually we're a little lower power level, but this one, I don't know. I wanted to go a little bigger, a little more epic superhero, golden age action.
The Transformers Trash says, oh boy, this one's going to be rough.
Yeah, there's a lot to love about it. Do you have the do you have the art loaded up, Troy? Maybe we can.
I do. I have the whole thing. Now, if you look at the top of that, just as a real quick, sorry, I'm going to get this other message. You see the 1 through 25 at the top of the presentation?
I do not see the 1 through 25.
If you hover over the actual cover.
I do not, but I'm not on the regular YouTube page.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I mean, it's I've uploaded it to, so we can go through and page by page. Yeah. And you should be able to click around there, but that's okay. I can click for you too. Happy to do it.
Awesome. Yeah. This is Herr Strausler. He's the leader of the occultist. He sucks. He's Nazi Indiana Jones.
I gotcha. He's a bad guy. Like that.
Yeah, that's Gadget. He's a little Hitler Youth Rocketeer. He sucks.
He sucks. Oh,
That's Alpengeist. Alpengeist is a big Yeti who is forced to work with them thanks to that collar around his neck. He does not suck, but he is forced to work with them, which means he sucks.
nice. I mean, not nice, but mean. Oh, this is a great art.
Yeah, this is all done by my friend Jessica Grieving, who is really, really great. She was the first artist I worked with to make Titan City art pieces.
Nice.
That's Dr. Nochins, Dr. Bones. She's a necromancer who wants revenge on the wizards who killed her family.
Got it. Shambhala.
Yep, that is where the portal in Poland goes to, because for some reason, Heinrich Himmler thought there was a portal to Shambhala in Poland for some reason.
Love it.
But the rat
Oh,
guy, that's Rattenkrieg. It means rat warfare. He's a were rat. He's sort of the reconnaissance member of the team.
a
He also
were
sucks.
rat. Yeah,
But
he
his pet
doesn't.
rat's cool.
How about this lovely creature?
So her name is Untold Valkyrie, which I'm positive I'm not saying correctly, but it's Undead Valkyrie. She is an Amazon who was an ambassador to the Vikings, whose body was brought back by the necromancer to be her muscle.
Oh no. Paul mentions. Oh yeah, we have our Duke in Purple to help us with German, so we'll
Yeah.
sign up for some lessons. Nice. Supporting
There's the portal to
characters.
Shambhala on top of the mountain.
There it is. What am I looking at? That looks great. Are those kind of like trees?
Yeah, so Shambhala is sort of the golden city of paradise. It is full
Ah,
of happy, fun times, at least until the
love it.
Germans get in there and ruin everything. They're looking for
Yeah,
something called the Chintamani Stone, is the goal of the Germans going into Shambhala, which is a very powerful magical rock that the heroes can gain access to or can leave with the people who it rightfully belongs to. We got some grumpy German guys.
some undead Nazis.
Yeah, and then staff
This
rocks for the villains.
lovely. This is fantastic. And so, when do we know when this is going to be available out and about?
I think pretty soon. Ops is just looking for a chance to release it, as far as I know.
Hey, Doc Void, you're right on time. Anything that
Yeah,
we've
and there's
said
one more
tonight.
interesting thing
Oh yeah,
down a couple pages.
let's
Hal
go.
actually converted um, some of my ramblings into actual handouts for the GM to print out and cut
Oh
up and hand to the
really?
players. So journal entries.
Fun. Oh my gosh, this is
Yeah,
cool.
which is not something we typically do with Astonishing Adventures, but I had them lying around, and Hal was able to make up something pretty neat.
Hal, boy, yeah, he's a true talent. That's fun. So some hints and stuff to hand out to players to kind of spice up the game. I like it a lot. Let me. How do I get back to you? There we go. How cool. And so yeah, so that's I think that we're looking at it's complete, right?
Yeah, it's complete.
All right, awesome. Well, we're not going to get it out before Gen Con, but shortly after, because we've got
Yeah,
on the 31st is a big day.
it's a huge day.
It's a
We've
big,
got
it's,
the
yeah,
Origin Edition playtest coming out on the 31st.
that's right. That's right. It'll be available in the Green Ronin online store via PDF and Drive-Thru RPG, and you'll be able to pick it up in person at Gen Con at the booth, at booth 101
Yeah,
on the
if you
show
come to
floor.
play my games, you'll be able to play it in person.
Hey, very cool. I'm going to play one of your games. Did we decide which one I was going to play?
All of them. Come hang out with me all day.
I'd love it. I would love it. But sadly, Gen Con has us. We are booked almost solid on press coming by and visiting with folks, and you're going to have a few spins with some press folk. Everyone's a buzz about 4E, which is very exciting. So I'm looking forward to. I'm just looking forward to hearing what people have to say. Especially love that we're doing this playtest edition because that's my bread and butter. I just love feedback and gathering feedback and engaging folks, and I look forward to that. Friends, if you want to make sure that you are on the bleeding edge, then you're going to want to join atomicthinktank.com. because that's kind of going to be the hub of our feedback, and we're going to party there. And so, oh, nice. Klutz says, I'll be running a 4E playtest at a virtual convention this Sunday. Nice.
Sunday.
Very cool. What virtual convention is it? And are you going to be streaming? And
Called FOMO Con for the people who can't go to Gen Con.
Oh, is that what it is, really?
Yep.
That's great. Drummadork says, woo-hoo. I love it. Me and the boys on the way to steal some rich lady's favorite necklace. Nice. I like
it's a good adventure. Go steal that necklace. Rescue the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about backstories. Now, I'm just going to preface this by saying this is one of my favorite topics because I'm a writer. Not many people know this, but for instance, on The Matrix Online, I wrote all of the scripts and all of the adventures and all of the quest lines for. I mean, of course, with some help, but I worked very closely with a man by the name of Paul Chadwick, who's a real comics guy, and the backstory to me is just one of the most fun things that you can do. It's just it's kind of neat to be able to, and the more you know, the more grounding you have, especially when it comes to role playing. If you're not familiar with the background or the backstory of a character, very difficult to sort of go, how will I react to this thing? And just knowing it is why it's half the battle, right?
That's what G.I. Joe said, I think.
I think so. Yeah. But yeah, so you've gone ahead and so as part of your Gen Con prep, you were like, what? I've just put together a bunch of great backstories, and it's really the way that you put this stuff together. Tell us what it is.
Yeah. So I think this is a very usable document for people who are looking to present background information about a character to either their fellow players, to the GM, to somebody who's showing up to play with a pre-gen that they've never met before. It's a way of organizing information so that people can read into as much as they want to, and the things that are most usable from a storytelling perspective and a gameplay perspective are separated out and chunked into pieces.
Got it. Maybe we should take a look.
Yeah, I think we could take a look.
Yeah, the very same creator of Concrete. He and I collaborated together. One of my big claims to fame for folks who are curious, we killed Morpheus together. And
sure
so, did. Yeah,
monster.
Yeah. I wish it was for some grandiose storyline, but actually it was because we couldn't afford the VO anymore for the video game. Yeah, bleak. But all right, well, cool. So here we have one of those backstories for Mark, the Dream Warrior.
Yeah, so I'll usually the character's name will be up there, and then I'll have like a very pithy, like just brief description of this is their vibe, this is their archetype, this is, if I had to boil them down into 1 to 5 words, this is what they are.
Nice.
Very handy. Mark is a dream warrior. He's a sleep paralysis demon who was drafted into World War II, and now he stomps on Nazis and eats their nightmares. He's great. And when you're first introducing a character, that's all the information you need to give to somebody when they, need to be bought on the concept of what my character is. I'm a huge fan of elevator pitches. One thing I always tell writers is people need to have a certain bit of investment before you start dumping things on them. True, I call it sort of brick wall world building, where every fictional concept has a learning curve. And the steeper that curve is right away, the more it acts like a brick wall and bounces people off of your idea.
God. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
And
Sam, just to go over
real quick
how I compartmentalize this information.
Tempo, I did Morpheus from The Matrix. In canon, by the way. Sorry, do continue.
Is he in canon? That's crazy.
Yeah, we shot him out of canon.
That's awesome. But yeah, so I compartmentalize the information as backstory, 2 to 4 paragraphs max, and then I'll take the other stuff things like what assets does this character have access to? What are its sort of surface level special abilities? What are its complications? And who are their NPC connections?
I
So I
love the way you fit
compartmentalize
that
that
stuff.
information so the
Yeah,
GM has that and they can look and say, okay, if I want to add stuff to the story, boom, 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 these are the places I can look for.
I love it. And especially given one of the beautiful things about this is that you have tailored this to the audience. Like it's a fast moving thing. People need to learn quickly, and you've given them that they could really just at a glance get a sense of what's going on. And then there's another page.
Yes, there is a second page.
Oops.
This is a little more involved, and it's on the back of the first page. So
Yeah.
generally, somebody has picked their character before they start reading this. And the special knowledge section, this is more related to pre-gens for one-shots. The special knowledge is generally information that will be relevant in the adventure we're going to tell.
I like it.
So,
I like it.
and this is stuff that the players can hold on to, that they can say, like if somebody asks a question, what are the Dreamlands? How does that work? Now Mark's player can answer that question instead of looking at me and saying, GM, what is that? I explain it, and then he says, I say what the GM said to them.
Nice.
So it encourages more participation from the players, and it lets them, be able to give information in a bit of an organic way instead of a little bit of that stopgap of let me ask the GM explains it, and then I just say what he said.
Yeah, in that right. I find that I shorthanded too. Well, so my person's really smart, and so they're saying what I'm saying now, but really smartly.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a better place to operate. Now, who's this character?
This is Trace. She is the demolitions expert for the team. She is an Ophidian, which is a snake-like humanoid who have the ability to burrow through the ground. Their two legs can turn into one giant snake tail, and
Oh,
she's a smart cookie. That's her other big thing.
nice. Cookies are nice. So here is a question that I have for you. There are a lot of folks talking about in chat, bringing up, like, is it worth it to say, let's say, backstories for player PCs, right? Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
But what about villains?
Villain backstory is it's an important thing to know the answer to,
Hmm.
but it is something that will almost always just be a you facing piece of information.
Right. Okay.
There will be pieces of it that will come out in gameplay that the players will get access to, and you want to be able to either make up or know the answers to certain questions when they come up. But very rarely will you sit down and read your whole backstory document to the players.
It
It might
strikes me.
come up,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
it
Sorry.
might come up as like a bullet pointed monologue where the villain is like, and this is why I'm like this, and this is what I want.
Yeah, and it strikes me too that there could be elements or moments where the villain is taking on backstory as the story unfolds, right? As players maybe
Mhm.
discover something or something about the adventure creates a bit of the backstory for that villain. So you might want to keep that stuff handy just to track the how your villains are evolving over the span of an encounter.
Yeah, and I'm a much bigger proponent of having villain motivation fleshed out way more than their whole backstory. Because you want to have some space for the players to occupy in that backstory
Yeah.
if it comes up. Um, if they have a rival from school, why can't it be one of the heroes? Or if they lost out on a promotion to somebody else, why can't it be one of the player characters? Pretty much any time information comes up in the game, I want you to ask, why can't it be one of the player characters?
Yeah, okay. I like that. I like that.
Sort of the Peter Parker approach of everybody Peter Parker comes into contact with becomes a superhero or a supervillain.
That's right. That is very true. Let's see. Simon Wentworth, the backstory for one of my characters is that he had a near death experience and was resurrected to be a holy champion. He's seriously indebted to the being who revived him, and they both know it. And he knows, this is interesting, and he knows that people operating at that level don't care for money as a valid way to repay debts when service does a much better job. I like that. That gives you all
Yeah.
kinds of purpose.
And it's a
Um,
usable backstory that the GM can point and say, here is an NPC who can cause trouble for the characters
I love
and
that.
the kind of trouble that can come up.
Now, do you think so? When I was creating, I think of uh, my there's why do I keep forgetting the name of my own robot? Uh,
Domo.
what is it?
Domo.
Delmo?
Domo. Domo.
Domo. Oh, that's it. It's Domo. I was like, Dilmo?
Domo arigato.
Dilmo, the dorky robot. But anyway, so yeah, Domo, who was like a kind of a search and rescue disaster relief. And I went ahead and kind of created my super villain, twin of sorts in demo, and handed that over to you because and it was just such a fun moment to realize, oh, I'm setting up some opportunity in the future for engagement. How far should a player go with that kind of stuff before? I mean, I know many people are creating their heroes and backstories before they even have a game for it, which is lovely. But how much room do you leave for the GM to kind of say, oh yeah, this is what I'll use, or we're not going to do that?
There's a couple different philosophies about that. I personally am a big fan of just handing loaded guns to the GM and being like, "Shoot me with it if you want." um,
Yeah, that was my thought too. Yeah.
yeah, where I've loaded this piece of trouble causing, damage, and you have access to it if you want to use it. I haven't filled out all the details about it, so there's room to sort of morph it around your story. But there's also players who want to write in every possible detail of their backstory, and that's fine. Um, I if you do write like a novel about your character, please don't expect your GM to read it and incorporate everything into the story that they're
Right.
telling.
Yeah.
Understand that in that novel you might be the main character, but in the group setting, it's a group story. Think of it more like how does Superman act in the animated Adventures of Superman versus how does Superman act in the Justice League cartoon.
Got it. Okay. Very interesting. Um, Julio Caesar says, for villains, I always believe that. Sorry, my voice is cracking. Finally, puberty. I always believe that they are better when they're 3 or 4 paragraphs with essential info only: their origin, their motivation, their demeanor with other people, and their goals. Especially if you categorize it with like what players can know, and leave it at that. Like, there's so much more that they don't know, right? You kind of leave out
Yeah,
for.
I'm a huge fan of never making more information than 2 to 4 paragraphs for anything, really, in a role playing game. I know
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
nuts to say, but generally, I keep my information. I like to be very economic with my words.
Me too. I find as well, not when I'm talking, of course, but I find that
Mhm.
there's all nothing is better than an edit pass to shorten a paragraph, like to get it down to its most important pieces. That can be some of the most valuable work you can do for people.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Private Hobbs, the
Uh,
Heartbreaker.
yes, Hobbs is what's known as an Amitian. They're the
Oh,
progeny of the Egyptian goddess crocodile Ammit, who used to eat the hearts that Anubis threw away.
oh,
Um, and when the afterlife was restructured, a bunch of her children were spewed out all over the Sahara Desert, and they formed tribes, and they've largely kept to themselves, except for Hobbs, who is kind of like Scar from The Lion King.
okay. So he looks like a sort of a lion meets an alligator meets a he kind of has hippopotamus feet.
That's exactly what he's supposed to be.
Oh, get out! Really?
Yeah, that's what the goddess is described as: is the
Well,
body
what
of a
a
lion, hindquarters of a hippopotamus, and the head of a crocodile.
that's awesome. I love that. So it says heartbreaker here. Play on his diet.
Yeah, that's what he eats: is hearts,
I love it. That's great. Yeah,
And
yeah.
for a
This
long time, when he was exiled, he was an enforcer for a number of gangs, and he would eat the hearts of their enemies.
nice. Okay, handy.
Um, yeah, and he's a character who has that sort of. There's a dichotomy between like he's big and terrifying and menacing, but he also has a cute pet cat in his connections.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
who
I
is
see this.
Yeah, so he has a cat named Corporal Bell, who is the meanest cat aboard the USS Augusta, Hobbs's pet, and the worst thing to happen to rats since the plague.
Nice. I like that. Especially since you're going up against some rats, right?
Yeah, in the Jordan mystery, there are rats involved.
Petty Officer Dwight Chen, quartermaster on USS Augusta, who helps Hobbs maintain his contraband business. What is
Yeah,
his
so
business?
they smuggle contraband. They help. They get soldiers cigarettes, comic books, chocolate
I
bars,
see. Okay.
stuff that they have a ration of or they don't have enough of. Hobbs helps lubricate the wheels of enterprise.
I love it. I love it. So he must be fairly popular, I'd imagine. Um, let's see. John Pologic says a background tip I might give is this: either minimize the amount of strangeness, genre weirdness in the character's backstory, or go all in, but pick a path. Don't let too much drift occur, or you end up with what Alex noted about Spider-Man supporting. Yeah. Supporting cast, where they all end up as heroes or villains.
Yeah, definitely. This is an instance where superheroes as a genre is it's a wide range of things. It can be a lot of genre weirdness. It can be a little more grounded. That's the importance of a session zero and making sure when you're creating your backstory that it fits into the type of story you've all agreed to tell.
I like that.
So yeah,
I like it.
I'm with my Titan City stuff. It has a very specific vibe of this is like there's a lot of mundaneness, but there's also monsters and magics thrown into the mix. So Hobbs is a big scary alligator man, but he's also a burgeoning criminal who
Right.
is
Yeah.
using his
Yeah.
connections in the military to do contraband and
Kind of
embezzle.
gray
And
market guy. Yeah.
yeah,
I like that.
and he has a cat.
Now, Raymond Stegman asks, please say Hobbs has an imaginary human friend named Calvin.
You know, I might change Dwight's name to Calvin just for that instance.
I see what you've done, Raymond. That is
Although him
that
having an imaginary human friend would be really funny.
that would be very funny. Let's see. Anything else from chat? Do-do-do. Yeah, Paul says he's huggably terrifying. I like
Yeah, he
that.
needs a
Yeah,
good hug.
Claude, yeah, I'd imagine. Claude says the superhero shenanigans folks largely gave me tons of ammo. So he's talking about when he's GMing that group, and they've kind of loaded him up with character options and opportunities. And let's see. Speaking of character options, we have Hal Fisher.
Yeah, Bosun Hal Fisher, an officer and a merman. Although
An
that's a little
officer in-
misleading. He's a deep one, not a mer person.
Okay, so the difference is
He comes from a settlement of secretive aquatic beings who worship a terrifying eldritch being called Father Dagon, who
oh
created Hal specifically with the intention of ending the war as quickly as possible.
wow.
Hal was created to be a peerless tactician, a warrior, and a representative of his people to come forth and convince the United States both to get into the war and to be prepared by helping monsters train up. He's the commanding officer of this squad of characters.
Got it. Oh, I'm picking up on this character for sure. So he's kind of on a crusade.
He is, and he has he has that interesting thing where he was built for a singular purpose, but he has sort of this almost religious discipline, and ultimately he wants to save everyone, even though theoretically deep ones want to flood the whole world and feed it to Father Dagon. But that can't happen yet, so they need to make sure the world is safe until such a point that can happen.
I like it. Sort of keeping it in the fridge until such a time that they can enjoy it. That's awesome.
Yeah, can't have Nazis ruining the world. That's Dagon's job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is interesting. Transformers Trash says, or else you have players living in fear of doing any single thing wrong out of fear of creating an army of villains like a swarm of bees. That is true on a more broad sense as well. Like, if the player isn't sure where they can tread with a particular hero and they're not quite sure what to do and they don't want to look foolish or break things or, get themselves stuck into a situation where they feel like they're kind of backed into a corner. This kind of stuff just it gives them the lattice work to kind of hang their own inventiveness on. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. And Devious asks for advice about how to make backstories for home campaign as opposed to a convention one-shot with published characters. I think starting with the way I've segmented the information is the best place to start.
Okay.
And trying to make sure that you keep things economical. So backstory, 2 to 3 paragraphs. I keep it 300 characters or less if I can. Or sorry, 300 words or less if I can, not characters. That'd be a tweet for everybody's backstory. um, and then assets are equipment and assets are things like equipment or connections or statuses and things like that that the character has access to, like if they have a headquarters, if they have a telepathic hive mind in the instance of Hal. These are equipment pieces that you want your character to have access to that can come up to help in the story. And this is what I do before I do any numbers for the characters. I don't worry about mechanics until I sit down and do all this. So I have sort of like a checklist of when I'm building my character.
Okay, that's nice. I like that order of operations.
Yeah, because I want the character to be a character before I worry about the numbers.
Yeah, that's the better way to do it.
Yeah, complications are complications in Mutants Masterminds terms. These are specific things that can make your life more difficult as a hero, and they're a clue to your game master in the ways that you want to be hurt by them, for lack of a better term. Like Hal has burden of command. So if I was Hal's player and I was creating this complication, I'm telling the GM that I want to be sort of, are there going to be instances where I have to make a decision that maybe endangers the lives of the crew to make the mission happen? And how does that weigh on me?
Yes,
or I'm responsible if something goes wrong with the mission and these idiots screw something up. How does that fall back on me? Do I get additional damage from the brass, like additional come downs on me, things like that? Or in Hal's case, he has a motivation responsibility where I say that his complication is he's a representative of his society, and I want that to come up when the GM is coming up with things like, what happens if the military brass finds out that my society wants to destroy the world someday? How does that blow back on me? How does that reflect my mission? Things like that.
And like that.
Yeah, and then connections are, I always give the GM like 2 or 3 NPCs that can be used by them or can be completely ignored. They are NPCs that have a function in the story. So in Hal's instance, Shay is a priestess from back home who has a mental connection to him. That is somebody he leans on when he's in, when he needs to know what to do. There is the general that he's friends with. And there's the question in there of, is this general my friend because they like me or because I have that weird subtle psychic manipulation on humans?
Interesting. So a quick question then. So when you are, Devious asks about some tips for creating a backstory for a home campaign as opposed to a convention one-shot. Is there a big difference between the two preparations?
I approach both the same way personally, because I'm creating these characters with the idea that other people are going to play them.
Yeah.
If I'm creating the backstory for my own character and I'm presenting it to the GM, I'm still presenting information in a way that I want them to know how I want to be played with. So it's still getting somebody on board with how a character works, delivering the information about that character in an economic way, and giving different categories of information that make it easier to reference for the GM when they go back to this document.
I like it. I like that a lot. Yeah. And it also is some common language that you share with your GM and your player, between GM and player. But let me see here. Transformers Trash talks about a complication. We have a hero with a power loss cold and weakness to ice. Poor man lives in fear of any walk-in freezer. I love complications. I love them. I think it's one of the most brilliant sort of mechanisms within TTRPG space. I love the way that we do it in Mutants Masterminds, and it's just fun. It really gives you permission to not be the winner. You know what I mean?
I think that boils down to this whole backstory document. Some people will think that this document is an explanation when really it's a dialogue.
Yeah.
This document exists to create a bond between you and the other players and you and the GM in order to deliver information that's vital to telling a good story.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And Paul mentions this hint, which I think is really interesting, though I may want him to explain something. So backstory hints for home game number one, don't go linear, go network. And number two, collaborate
Mhm.
with your fellow players to interlace backstories. I love that. But what do you know what Paul means by the number one there? That don't go linear, go network.
I'm not positive.
Yeah, give us a little background, Paul. I'm curious as to I can presume what it means, but I'd love to kind of know from the horse's mouth.
The
Um,
sources. Paul was a wise guy.
he is a wise guy. Yeah, complications are just brilliant, so great, and complications and means masterminds. When you engage them, then you can earn yourself a real hero point, right?
Yeah, and I like dividing the information up this way because when the GM is designing an adventure, they can just look right away. These are the complications. Is there a place for me to implement this as a problem for the player? These are their friends. Is there a place I can integrate one of their friends into the story?
Oh, I
Or when
like
I'm
it.
designing my challenges, these are the things they have access to, and these are their special powers. How can they break or solve the scenario I'm putting in front of them?
Love it. Absolutely love it. Let's
Yeah,
see.
you want this to be a workable document where
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of people hand in Google Docs that are just like 5 paragraphs of backstory. But anytime I go back to reference that as the GM, I have to like reread the whole thing and be like, okay, who are their parents? Who was their friend that they were talking about?
Yeah, yeah, and SC Pilot also talks about that. Well, first, it says yeah, and it's also cool to change the backstory to fit in with the setting. And Paul mentions that in a home
Mhm.
game, you can afford an incomplete backstory where you can fill in details later. You can retcon a bunch of that stuff, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a
Uh,
great opportunity for. I've talked about this rule before, both here and on the Joy of Game Mastering. But one of my favorite opportunities for players to contribute to the story is the "I know a guy" rule, where they can say, "Oh yeah, I know the
love
person who does
this.
that, and this is how I'm connected to my backstory."
Oh,
Um,
I like that. I like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's
classic
certainly
example is Han Solo and Lando Calrissian. As
sure.
Han is escaping the Empire, he's like, "I know Lando. Lando and I have this whole deal where I ripped him off, and maybe we're cool, maybe we're not. But GM, here you go.
Yeah,
Take the
absolutely.
story
Oh,
that way."
Transformer. We'll call you TTT. We pulled it up and we
ETD.
just oohed and awed, and we thought it was amazing and clever, and it sent us spiraling into a conversation about complications. So well done.
Mhm.
No Man is an Island, and a straight isolated story is not the best. Depth can be added when they integrate things, places, and organizations already in the game and other players. Yeah, and and then leave a little room for some new ideas.
Yeah.
I think that. Oh, here we go. Linear versus network. Don't feel like you have to have on a backstory from start to finish if you hit a particularly important bit. I see. Focus on that first, even if it's out of order. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's like you say, Alex. It's an organic document. It's a growing sort of reference that can change dramatically from encounter to encounter. Right?
Yeah, and it's a lot more in my mind. It's a lot more of an appendix or a glossary than it is a full story,
Yeah.
where
Okay.
it gives you the highlights of these are the people who matter. These are the events that matter.
Yeah. The Cliff's notes, if you will. Yeah, I dig that.
Yeah. Troy, can we see the back of Hal's page?
Yeah, we can. I believe it's right here.
So the other thing that I keep on the back, and this you can use this. It works really well for convention games where the players might not know each other and they
Oh,
might not
yes.
know the vibes between the characters involved. But it can also work for your home games if you guys work together to have a discussion of. This could be a bigger section at home where you guys can decide who am I friends with, who am I rivals with, all this stuff. I have a party member section that is just a sentence or two breakdown of what this character thinks about the other characters in the party.
It is so
And
nice to have a reference to what the names are because I will forget in mid because your head's already kind of filled with all the things you got to worry about just given the endeavor. But yeah, it's so nice to be able to have the reference. That's really nice.
yeah, my
Yeah.
GM hot take is I do a seating chart behind the screen when we first start playing, where I'll write down the names of everybody in the seat that they're in the circle around me, and
Nice.
then I'll write down what character they're playing so that I can, if I know who I'm looking at. Um,
Very cool. Okay. That's a smart trick. Yeah, because if you're reading things, you might not necessarily remember which person was which, and especially if you're doing a convention, very tricky.
Yeah. And I always tell everybody when they look at this thing, engage with this as much as you want. All of this information is just what the character typically is like. Feel free to change anything and everything as you see fit.
I
Um,
dig it. Yeah.
if you want to change their name, their gender, if you want to change some elements of the backstory or how you feel about certain characters, like if you sat down with your friend and you guys don't want to have a contentious dynamic, you can change that. If you aren't comfortable with certain things that happen, feel free to just scribble those out and rework it. This is just a crutch for you to use when you sit down to play the game. If you need a little spark for role playing, or if you need how much information you need to get into character.
Yeah, yeah. Julio mentions that network backstories are great for teenage superheroes, since a lot of the themes they engage
Mm-hmm.
with are based around their relationships with other teens and adults. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
I love a network. One of my, I'm a huge fan when designing a party dynamic of finding a common thread for all the characters to rally around. The kids from the magic school, their thing is they are all exiled from one family or another, and the other kids are sort of their found family.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking more about sort of the layout that you've got here, and given the I'm thinking a lot about how here we go, there it is. Uh I bet there's something that we could make that would be kind of a like some kind of portfolio or sort of a dossier kind of setup where folks could track the development of their hero over time, and uh
That is a product that we are working on for the Valiant Adventures role playing game.
That's right. That's right. I would. Yeah, I think that's something that I love. I love a good form. I love a good character sheet. It's just something. There's something in my DNA that just makes me. It's like I love pens, or notebooks, that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, yeah. Imaginative Media. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in. Swapped over to the YouTube side of things, and yeah, pronouns too, absolutely, just to help you kind of track what's going on. And then they mention I like to have the players find one connection with another player too. Yeah, yeah, and I'll tell you that is one of the I don't Alex, do you get this feeling like when you find a role play connection when you're playing in an encounter, it feels there's I don't know, it's a very distinct vibe. It's sort of like I don't know, like it's sort of almost like best bud sort of vibe that you can kind of play along with, and it's just such a yes and fun kind of moment when you can make that connection, even if it's someone you don't know. Uh,
Yeah, I like that a lot, but I have this really annoying habit of being sort of the class clown at sessions of negative,
I know
where
that. Yeah.
I'm kind of everybody's friend.
Right, right. Yeah, I know the affliction for sure.
I'll pick a character type where I'm like, oh, I'm the lovable doofus, and now everybody
Right.
feels safe to make fun of me and to sort of unite around. Oh my God, we're not going to get through this because Alex is in the way.
Hey, Chad, I'm wondering about you. What's your go-to type of character that you play? I tend to fall into that same. I fall into two categories, like the serious leader, which I don't want to be, but I end up stepping into it, or the class clown sort of goofball. Those are the two little spots. And then when it comes to classic fantasy, always a ranger, always a ranger.
Yeah, a couple Gen Cons ago, I played Captain Cold in a massive Marvel versus DC PvP event, and I had one shtick, and I stuck to it the whole time, where I was like, "This is the natural enemy of that," and it was like, "Cold is the natural enemy of fast, and hot is the natural enemy of time, and pudding is the natural enemy of stickiness," and just all sorts of just nonsense. And I was like, "You guys would know this if you'd read the Flash's Rogues newsletter that I put out every month, and nobody ever checks it out."
I
I know
love
you're all
it.
subscribed. I see when you open the emails.
I have analytics. That's great. Yeah, Stan says class clown. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's fun. DV says I play the emo boy or the lone wolf. Yeah. Yeah. The emo boy for sure. I love it. Doc Boy says I'm still learning as a GM and have had trouble explaining and executing and rewarding complications. To be fair, I've only run 11 sessions. I'll admit to the concept at first being it sort of threw me, but then I really thought about it, about what it represents and the opportunity it gives somebody to sort of play around in the space of failure or challenge and to have it be something, because it's sort of this understanding that these are the challenges that I am going to surmount or I'm working to improve or I'm trying to get around or try to function despite. What are your thoughts on
Yeah.
sort of as a GM
Yeah.
kind of executing on that?
So approaching complications, it does take a minute to wrap your head around. I definitely get that. Some things that helped me when I was first starting with complications was letting the players know that they could offer a complication if they saw a scene where they thought their complication could make things more complicated for them or for the story,
Yeah.
so that they could be like, you know, this is one of my complications. Could this come up and I get a hero point and maybe there's trouble for us? Um, and it's making sure to reward that reward that behavior with a hero point and to encourage the other players not to be upset if somebody is fishing for complications to make things harder.
Got it.
And don't be that guy who's just like, I would like a complication in this scene. I'd like a complication in the scene. I'd like a complication in the scene. And then I also do this thing where I'll bank a complication, where I'll offer the hero point up front to one of the players and be like, I'll give you this hero point now, but I'm going to cash it in for a complication later at a time that makes sense.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, this is great. Yeah, Paul mentions playing an easygoing goofball that just wants to be helpful, or the surly, prickly, tempered, tough gal. Paul also does a really great, brassy, no nonsense, kind of down to brass tacks tactician, sort of person, being. He's played that role a couple times in some actual plays we've been in together, and it's fun to watch. Sort of like that general who knows the stuff, or that the boss lady who's has connections all over the city, or just really clever stuff. I love the banked complication route as well. Yeah, banked complications are it's really smart, very smart.
And it's important to let your players know complication. Hero points are meant to be flowing. Spend them, and I'll give them
Yes.
back to you. I promise. But if I notice that my players have a big stack of them, I'm more shy about including complications.
Well, so how do you go about making sure that you're tracking the hero point thing? Because you do a really great job of it. It feels like it's part of your process.
Yeah, I learned a couple of conventions ago to bring a finite amount of hero point poker chips.
Yeah.
I bring enough so that all my players can have three, two from scene transitions, and one that is just a reward for a good role playing, for a vivid description, for a joke I think is funny, for a joke I think is not funny.
Oh, nice.
And then once they're out until they spend them and send them back to me.
I see. So you can earn up to 3 at any time, but to get more, you've got to spend it.
Yeah, because if I don't have any
I like that.
poker chips, I can't send them out.
So that's great. That's a smart way of the clock starts running as soon as it's in their hands, and you should see them. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like it. Let's see. I always end up playing heroes that are a little flippant and anxious, very Hawkeye versus Robot Army vibes. Okay. Yeah.
The city is flying.
Yeah.
I have a bow and arrow.
SC Pilot likes to play the heroic dragon who wants to live amongst humans. Okay, I like that. That's a good fun.
Well, SC, come to Gen Con and you can play my little dragon.
Yeah, come on in. We'll see you there.
Her name's Andromeda. She's great.
Mastermind of Pook talking about our group do hero point deals. Okay, I like that.
Ooh.
You can roll and maybe save everyone safely, or you can automatically save them and take damage, but you get a hero point. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that is cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah, play up
Whoa,
the fun that
Alex.
you're having with it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
meant to be something that makes the story fun for everybody. It's not meant to punish.
Okay, and that's a great thing to say or to remind folks that you're sharing some stuff that works for you and in sort of the method, the proven practices, but it may differ for the listener. It may differ for the player, the GM, and this is a framework, right? I mean, like the end of the day, we're here to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what all RPGs are for. This is a game you're supposed to be playing with your friends to have fun.
Right.
I think that's the most important thing to remember at the end of the day. If you're having fun and your players are having fun, you're doing a good job, no
I like
matter
it.
what's going on.
I dig it. Well, my friend, we are almost out of time. Uh, what
How did that
I
happen?
what's that? I know, right?
How did
Just
that happen?
a whole hour just flew by. Yeah, snap of the
Yeah, in case
finger.
SCP wasn't here earlier, here is Andromeda. She's beautiful. My brother painted her.
Cool. Okay, now show all 60 of them.
7 of them aren't here.
So,
They're
yeah, we
divided
kind
up
of.
by game on these little metal
Hey,
trays.
look at that. I
I have a
love.
miniature carrying case. Oh, somebody mentioned Ratatoskr earlier, and I have some of those as the minions in one of my adventures.
Very cool.
They're the guardians of the world tree, and they come down and have a big squirrel fight with all the heroes.
They have a squirrel fight?
Yeah, big squirrel fight.
Oh, I hate getting into squirrel fights. They're hard to catch, harder to throw. Kingstar says, yes, Hawkeye, the man who once saved the universe with an old carny, with an old carny gag. Oh, I see. I like it. Yeah, Stan says, it changed me too, Stan, when I realized this is supposed to be fun. I was like, wait a minute, fun? Oh, okay.
How does that factor into it at all? Nobody has
Yeah,
fun.
fun. F you, and fun. Hey, Alex, I know what you got cooking. You're getting all ready to go to Gen Con. When do you land?
I land on Wednesday.
Is that
So
today's Monday? Okay, yeah. I land on Wednesday too. Does it start on Thursday?
it starts on Wednesday officially, but
No, wait, I might be
I
flying out
don't run my first
tomorrow.
game until Thursday morning.
Let me see here.
But we're going to
I think
karaoke on Wednesday night.
I'm there. Yeah, I am there. That's one day away. I'm looking forward to that. Boy, that was a blast. Yeah, friends, if you are listening to this and you're going to Gen Con, stop by booth 101 and come by come by and say hello. Tell them Gravy Squatch sent you, and I'll have a secret prize for you. For real.
Surprise.
Yeah, it's a secret. Gravy based surprise. So yeah, and
that sounds like a bad surprise.
no, it's a good one. It's a good one. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you as well. Imaginative Media will be there, and I'm looking forward to that. I have gifts for the whole cast, as a matter of fact, that I will hand to you when I meet you in person. Yeah, we're gonna have a blast. We've got, if you want to find out, you're going to Gen Con and you want to track all the stuff that we're doing. It's an action packed Gen Con for us. If you go to greenronin.com, sorry, I'm trying to get the link up here so I can show you, but then I've totally lost my ability to type. We have a Gen Con events page that tells you all about what we're doing, and it's super great.
I am signed up to play one game, and I'm very excited about it.
Ooh, which game are you playing?
I'm playing Creature Commandos versus the Midnight Suns, another Marvel and DC PvP
Ooh,
event.
fun. I like that.
I really want to play Creature Commandos. I think I want to be Dr. Phosphorus or GI Robot. I haven't decided yet.
Nate says a free can of Spravy. Not quite yet. We're getting the FDA approval for Spravy.
We shouldn't wait for that. I don't think the FDA is going to approve that.
It's slow going. I guess it's sort of. I guess it burns a little.
It's hard when something is a food and a drug.
That's right. That's right. Apook, I will say, Alex has been a very, very good boy this year. I mean, if anybody was worthy of a shoe full of gravy, it's you, my friend.
I feel like the good boys shouldn't get gravy in their shoes.
No, that's not the way gravy squash works. It's your reward for being such a good guy. My question is, do you think that it's a is it your is does gravy squash leave your shoe filled with your favorite kind of gravy, or is it just gravy squash brand gravy?
I think it's Gravy Squatch brand.
I
I
do
think if he put
too.
my favorite gravy in my shoes, he wouldn't put gravy in my shoes.
An empty shoe, no gravy. That's blasphemous.
What I've
Uh,
learned is I need to be a bad boy this year.
so that's right. That's right.
That's the moral
Somebody
of the
was asking
story.
me what is gravy squash, and I'm like, yeah, it's gravy squash is kind of like the Santa Claus or the Easter
Yeah,
Bunny, or it's yeah.
Gravy Squatch is the mood. Gravy Squatch is the movement.
That's right. The movement. Activia gravy. Gross. All right, my friend. Well, I'm looking forward to Gen Con. It's going to be a blast. Anything you would like to share with folks before we dive into what's in the tank?
Uh, Not that I could think of. Just if you come to Gen Con, please feel free to say hi. Be gentle. My ankle is bad,
Yeah, no
but I'll
shoving.
be hobbling around.
No
Please feel free to
slapping.
come up and say hi. Ask any questions that you have. Those of you who are attending who maybe didn't get a ticket to one of my events, I do keep a super secret special ticket in my back pocket for people who show up. They are on a first come, first serve basis. But if you want to come play on my one games, please show up and I will do my best to get you in.
Alex always accommodates, which is lovely. All right, my friend. Well, with that, I say thank you for joining us and hanging out and being cool. And uh, what a great topic. And also, chat. Thank you as well for all the great feedback and information and your own expertise, which I really do. Oh, this is great. Gravy squash is the word. It's the word. I love it. Very cool. We are shopping around for a Gravy Squatch theme song, so maybe that gets us started in the right way. But my friend,
Are
I will
we?
let. We weren't until now. I love it. All right, my friend. Well, enjoy your remaining days before Gen Con. I shall see you forthwith, and I promise no gravy shenanigans. Ciao.
I believe you.
You shouldn't. Atomic Think Tank is where you want to go to hang out with all your friends. You're going to find a GM there. You're going to find players. You're going to find all the answers you need, plus events, all kinds of good stuff. We'll get into what's in the tank here momentarily with our friend Devious Hearts. But look at this. We're almost done. Almost done. You will note there will be no Thursday. And next Monday, I don't know what we're doing, but the August the 14th. On August 14th, we are going to have the planning episode for the brand new season of Mutants and Masterminds Monday. The thing is, we do it a little differently around here. To get your topic in, all you have to do is hang out at that show. We build it right before your very eyes. We've been doing this for years now, and it's so much fun. That's how we keep things fresh. That's how we keep things funky. And you get a real life hero point if we choose your topic. And streams and podcasts. Look at that. Our friends, Super Shenanigans, wrapped up on their stuff that they had cooking. Book of the Eclipse, the Golden Squad as well. Check them out. You want to catch up to the wonderful storytelling that they're doing over there. I love those kids. They're just brilliant. But for now, why don't we do this? Let's talk about the Cape and Cowl Club. It is a club that you can join. So everything that we've talked about so far for the Atomic Think Tank is free. All good stuff. And the stuff that we're going to get into, even more good free stuff. But there is a tier that you can join for $8 a month. That's it. Just $8. You can pay yearly. You can pay monthly. I think the first month is free. You get access to some behind the scenes activities that we do. We've got sort of a developers boot camp where you work with Alex and Steve to create a world and stories within characters and encounters, and the setting is called the Pinewood Project. Not just the first thing that we're getting pretty close on, at least getting all of the details in the pile in the form that they need to be in, like a really real developed product. And it covers really everything. When it comes to the development of TTRPGs, we talk about behind the scenes stuff, how you architect something when you got to work with artists, when you ask for art, what does that look like? The whole process from top to bottom, and you get to write significant elements of the encounter. It's wonderful. It's super, super fun. And it's been fun to watch. There's also stat blocks, which I know I'm woefully behind on. I got to drop a bunch on you folks. Golden Age, I believe, is what I'm doing. And in addition, we've got we collect or we recruit the cast for any of our actual plays from the Cape and Cal Club, and we also do a once monthly dev chat where you get to hang out and talk and get a kind of a look at stuff that's cooking, and you really get a look under the hood. For instance, the Cape and Cal Club had been involved in the playtest for 4th edition for some time now. They're the first folks who were part of the feedback process, and which is why we'll be blaming them for anything anybody doesn't like, especially this guy by the name of Devious Hearts. Hello, my friend, Devious.
What?
Good.
I'll be blamed. I see how that is.
Oops. Oh yeah, join the grad while you're at it.
Did I say that out loud? Oh yes, join the grad. Whoops.
And also join the grad.
And join the grad.
And
by the way,
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You had said that the planning episode was the 14th. That would be a Wednesday. I think you meant the 11th.
I did. I meant the 11th. I totally meant the 11th, not the 14th. No,
yes.
On the 14th we won't be. Where are you at? Where can I find your face?
I don't know. My face is right here.
No.
I found my face. It's right here.
Nope, it's missing. Your face is missing.
It's right above my chin.
See, the funny thing is this join the grad thing isn't even here. Hey, there you are.
There I am.
Hey, Devious. There you is. Hey, we're talking about. What was that? Are you asking me how it goes?
Yes.
It goes, and it never stops. But Gen Con's coming up. Super excited about that. Get to see all my pals. Always love hanging out with Steve and Alex. I'm rooming with Alex, so he gets a very special the Troy treatment, I call. We end up, I love the guy dearly, and we end up talking until like 5 a.m. It is always a delight until the next day, and then we do it again.
I think what you should do is make earrings out of a couple of those little gravy boats that I gave you. Maybe.
Oh yes.
There you
go. That's a great idea. I can do that. For folks who don't know, Devious, just sort of a friendly gift sent me a handful of miniature gravy boats, fine China gravy boats, and I think I've got about 10 of them. Very nice. The Troy treatment is amazing and exhausting, says Alex. It really is. I apologize in advance. I wish I really felt badly about it, but I don't. A blast. Okay, so now we've got lots of stuff cooking in the tank, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, I mean, the big news is, of course, this week is, boom, Gen Con.
Gen Con.
And there's a very special thing happening at Gen Con. We're going to get into that in just a second. What's going on in the tank? Basically, there's another one in addition to this, but Steve Kinson himself has put up archetypes from the 4th edition, and I've linked them there. He did recently put up another one, and actually Chris Davies shared this one. It's Mentalist and Metamorphs.
Yeah,
if you go there, you can just click on the link and go right to it. or you can click on the individual links. It should open the PDF for the characters themselves. Take a look at what's awaiting you.
Of course,
Wow.
that is all a part of our March to the 31st.
That's right. Which is that big event coming up. It's a coming. But
Yep.
wow, Julio Cesar. I hope I'm
Oh,
pronouncing that correctly. He is awesome. He has put 2 wonderful articles. Actually, he's put 4 total articles in there now, but I had only had 2 of them done by the time I did the What's in the Tank this week on Brazil in Earth Prime, Sao Paulo.
oh, we wanted
And
that. That's so great.
absolutely, and he's just talking about mascaras, the luchadors, and just it's a wonderful world he's created, and
Nice.
I just heartily recommend checking him out. They're actually the featured articles this week in the Freedom City Library. I did also a thing, a good way to punish a superhero, but I'm going to let you know something.
Yes.
I
Dude.
wrote that article, and Paul Rua had a response that was better than my article, because I was just looking at the end game way. Basically, a person had a character of theirs who blew up a ER. They made sure that the bomb was set by somebody else. They let everybody else get out, but then rather than have the demolition team show up, they just said, "I'll just let it blow. There's no more people in there." And they were wondering about, hey, what kind of ramifications would that have? It's a good way to punch superhero. And I only got into my mind just went into GM mode. It's like, well, it would have this ramification. And Paul basically said, well, talk to the player. I mean, what did they think the ramifications would be? You don't actually want to punish a player so much as a character. And would they view what ramifications come about as punishment for them? Because punishment's no fun. And just very well thought out response. I actually thought his response was better than mine. Paul Rua, you're a wise man, sir.
I like it. And hi, Linda. Welcome to the stream. We are talking about
Hey.
what's in the tank. I like everybody's. Hey, Linda. Hey, Linda. Hey, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
I like it.
But
okay.
in the
Well,
Aegis
and I do
files-
believe Julio was even in chat today.
I believe you. I hope so.
Well, yeah. Hopefully able to hear us sing his praises. But wonderful work.
I
That's
certainly hope so. You can always check it in VOD, but definitely want to sing his praises. Not to mention, he also put a character in as well, the Steel Junin. Let me see if I can pull them up. Yep, there they are.
Oh,
Steel
wow.
Junin, Julio Cesar's character. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Got a full backstory, full
Go back to
statage.
that art. That is something else. Okay, yeah, he's cool for sure, But that armor is just.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That is awesome. That would just terrify me.
Oh yeah, and basically the articles on Sao Paulo, enemies at the center. And
nice.
Here's the
hey,
second
there
one.
you are, friend. Good.
And he's kind of divided the city into different zones and starts talking about what's in each zone that makes it unique and special, which is just amazing. I thought definitely worth the price of admission there.
Now, friends, if you're hanging out in the tank, or you're thinking, oh gosh, I wish we had some resource on maybe I don't know, whatever it could be. Maybe it's a deep backstory that you've developed into a bigger piece of lore. You can put it up on the tank. Now, all of these things that are up here are meant to be inspirational, and it's sort of like it's a living library that you can contribute to and borrow from and be inspired by to influence and help you in your own M&M campaigns. But there's always room for more.
Absolutely. I mean, all the articles, all the files are stuff that is fan generated. Myself a fan, basically, that we put in there. That's what we want to see. We want you to come share your expertise, your knowledge, the characters that you've made. Just like, for instance, another great character in here is one that a newcomer named BB put in, and he's got and I hope I pronounced this correctly, numismatist. Who is
neat.
He's a Silver Age themed villain who has a coin gun, and basically is all about coins. He's got like his theme is coins, so
Oh,
I think
cool.
that's fantastic. Also, Jack Kellum has put in Matua Alamar, aka Deathmark, PL-14 Big Bad.
Oh,
Definitely
big
also
bad. Yeah.
Big Bad.
That's
Definitely
cool.
worth checking out as well. And Chris Davies, of course. Chris Davies is a workhorse. That man just
He's
cranks it
always
out.
creating.
Him, Steinbrewer, Matt Mabray, they
Yeah.
are the backbone of the Aegis Files. They consistently put out fantastic stuff. There are literally, I think it's safe to say, there are thousands of characters now in the Aegis Files.
We must be getting
because
close. Absolutely.
we're
Yeah. We should do
absolutely.
a count and do a little celebration.
Oh dear, counting.
Yeah.
Math.
Yeah, right. I
Math
know it's
evil.
difficult.
Yes, but anyway, here we go. This is the upcoming events this week. Of course, we got Mumamo creating compelling backstory.
You're soaking in
But
it.
now we don't have Don't Kill My Character this week. We don't.
Right.
But we do have Claude in Hope's Final Cry on the 30th. It is an actual play.
Hey.
When the world stands on the brink of destruction by forces of the Terminus, 5 heroes make a final stand for humanity.
Nice.
Definitely worth checking out. Go. You can also find the link right there. Just click right on the link. You can go check that out this Wednesday.
What's the sound of Hope's
not-
final cry? What does that sound like?
Well, it's like,
Yeah,
apparently Hope is fairly whiny, but
that sounds about right.
so that's all. But the big event, of course, is Con Begins and Mutants and Masterminds 4th Edition Playtest Origin Edition debuts.
That's
You can
right.
Go to the table and you do have them all printed and ready for them, right?
Indeed.
But also, if
Indubitably.
you're not going to Gen Con, it will be available at the Green Running store. And what are the prices on those?
The price is $39.99 for the book and $14.99. I believe I would reference a page, but unfortunately, it's not live yet. Hang
Not
on,
up yet.
I'm going to double check, but thereabouts it is, and it is. Yep, I was right. $14.99 for the PDF, $39.99. And I've gotten lots of, there are a lot. It's so hot. There are so many people very, very much interested in getting a copy of this for review purposes and the like. And those will be going out today, so that folks can get a little.
And it's killing it.
Little peeksy.
There's so much discussion going on, like at the grad, the Freedomverse server, about what does this mean? What does this mean? Because of the archetypes he's put up, and because I'm in the Cape and Cow Club, I've gotten.
There's things you know.
There are things I know, and I feel like I joke with somebody. I feel like Tom Holland with the Marvel Universe information, just sitting on there. I can't say anything. I can't say a thing until the 31st. In which case, no, this is this, that's that, blah blah blah. So I'm biding my time, biting my tongue.
That's right. That's right. And so, friends, if you want to get the direct poop as it relates to the real skinny, as it were, as all the kids are saying, the real skiddly boop or whatever it is, you're going to want to join the atomicthinktank.com. We'll have our developers in there that were happy to answer your questions. And we may even take your question and create a Ronin roundtable, which is a blog post, so that everybody can see. Today, I believe, either today, probably more like tomorrow, you're going to see the finished product on our frequently asked questions FAQ that'll go up, and it'll talk about a lot of stuff. And I know that there are lots of people curious about what's happening with the licensing, what's happening with, Superpowered by Eminem. Will that license persist, and what are we doing? And all of the wonderful questions. You'll get some of that answered when the FAQ goes up. But then, of course, any other questions. The reason why we put the tank together was so that you could have a direct engagement, and you can talk to us and sort of hang out and share concerns or questions, ideas, inspirations. All of that should be done in the Atomic Think Tank. So bring your questions in there. And if anybody out there in the world is coming across questions, encourage people to join the Atomic Think Tank to ask, because that's a great place. Also, the Grad is another wonderful place. But we really would love to see people hanging out in the Grad, asking good questions, getting great answers, and just being embraced by the community as a whole. Because it's a pretty darn groovy group of people in the tank. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. I enjoy conversations in both locations. Let me get I'm also going to get a Grad invite here in the chat.
I was just about to drop it, but go for it.
Oh, if you got it, well.
No, drop it.
There, boom.
Drop
I
it
got
like
it.
it's hot.
I have dropped it like it is very warm.
Like it is almost burning.
Yes, a burning sensation in my hands. Yes.
Yuck. All right.
Yeah.
So nice. Well, so that's what's in the Grad. That's what's in the box. I mean, not in the Grad, but there's some stuff going on in the Grad as well. But
Yeah, that's what's in the tank going on right now.
nice,
So,
nice.
I am very much looking forward to discussing 4th edition with y'all come the 31st. But
That's right. Lots of good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. What else? I was going to say something else. Yeah, and remember, friends,
whatever it was,
certainly. Remember, friends, if you're going to be in Indianapolis, make sure you stop by booth 101. Even if you just want to say hi, just say, and I'll know it's you because you'll say Gravy Squatch sent me, and I'll go, and then I'll have a special gift for you. But only if you say that. You want to be there.
Got to be
it's
there.
a lot of fun. We're also thinking about some kind of an evening gathering during one of the 4 days. It's a lot's going on because we have all of our stuff happening we have 4 seminars. I've got one on, of course, we've got the Mutants Masterminds roadmap. We've got, that's on Friday. And then I've got a Age Creators Alliance discussion for folks who want to develop some third-party titles and publish under the Age Creators Alliance license, and you will be a published person. Oh, Wednesday night karaoke. Yeah. Oh, Alex, we should bring everybody to that. Nice. All the GMs are invited. Excellent. Okay, well, we're going to tear the roof off of someplace. We should go to that one place we went to that one time. It was very fun. Okay, well, so much good stuff going on. We've got a huge bunch of fun coming with Gen Con. Imagine things in the live stream arena will be sporadic, so we may pop on for a Mutants and Mastermind Sunday or something. But yeah, I think that's all we got. Now it's just time to say what?
Bye-bye.
That's right. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. Maybe we'll see you in Indianapolis.